With the winner breaking, there's a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per rack.
Thank you. Race to 9, first rack. Japan to break.
Commentary for this one from Jim White and Phil Yates.
So Toru Kurobayashi breaking off.
Yeah, it's been quite evident here on quarterfinals day that the table not all that sympathetic to the breaker.
Now I love Walid Majid's cue action. It's so loosey-goosey at the back arm.
Well, that time the back arm went for a little vacation.
Well, that was arguably the worst shot he's played all tournament.
Well, he knew he needed a lot of cue power in this one, Phil. And I think he just dipped right as he delivered the cue. He's just off angle. He's left Naoki Oi, the colorful Naoki Oi, just a little off angle on this one. Now as he welded that cue ball behind the 2 and taken that escape path to the 1 away. Bashar Hussain anxiously looking, and apparently he has. Well, that's going to make this hit very difficult and quite significant too, really, Phil, because given the 1, 2, and 3 all in the open, if Hussain doesn't hit this 1,
extension call,
the rack could well go to Japan.
It's a 30-second shot clock in all of these matches throughout the tournament. Each team are allowed 1 30-second extension per rack. Normally it's taken early on when there's some thought to be given to a particular shot.
Well, this might work if it's hard enough. No, it didn't have the pace to get back behind the 4. Still not bad, at least avoiding the ball in hand scenario that I alluded to. Not the easiest shot here. Still early in the match, obviously. The nerves and players still trying to settle in. You know they will have spent a lot of time on the practice table leading up to this quarterfinal. Great shot on the 1, but I don't believe it's availed his partner anything, unless this 2 goes to the side. If not, he can sure trundle the cue ball up behind the 9 and the 6. Oh, it does pass. No, it doesn't, sorry. But what a good safety. Good aggressive safety, too. A quick look at the camera there, it almost looked like that would go.
Don't be fooled by Naoki Oi's laughing and jerking around. He's a hard competitor.
Ball in hand.
Comedian and competitor.
You know, he showed us some shots already in this tournament. Just brilliant. He tends to clown around out there and gets very animated. But what a talent he is, Naoki Oi.
I think any tournament is worse off when he's not there.
And I remember, too, Philly's very reserved with his hairstyle now. I've seen him with yellow hair, red hair. I think the one year that he partnered Satoshi Kawabata, his hair was a mixture of a few different colors, mirroring his personality. I don't know whether this 6-9 is set. If it is, he'll just have to draw this back and play the combination. If not, he can pinch the pocket and stay on the right-hand side of the table. Oh, he wants this to slow down. Maybe just in time.
Not a nice shot to have to play with the rest, this.
Yeah, and you have to negotiate the contact on the 9 too to get back over the other side of the table. Wow, that's a great shot. Great shot. Flirted with that side. But that's a nice recovery. Just slight favorites. Japan coming into this quarterfinal. It's so important to get off the mark. And they've done that. First rack falls to Japan.
Welcome back to London and the second quarter-final of this year's Dafabet World Cup of Pool. Japan currently lead Qatar by 1 rack to 0. A bad miss on the 7 by Qatar was punished by Japan, who took a 2-0 lead. A perfect break from Japan saw them run out the colours and move 3-0 ahead. Japan continued to impress in rack 4 as measured team play eased them into a 4-0 lead. We rejoin the action at the start of rack 5.
Well, a tricky shot on the 1, but a chance.
Well, you're right, Jim. It was tricky, but he didn't make it look so.
The only problem ball, the brown 7 next to the 9. Difficult to tell what availability it presents. That was struck nice. Just pinched the pocket enough to hold for the 3. Watch it again. Into the right-hand side. And that straightened up the angle for the 3. But always had a good look at this 4. And the 7 just below it.
Extension call.
Yeah, you got to take a little more time here. This is a key shot. He'd love to be able to get on the 4 in a fashion to be able to develop the 7, draw out and get back up for the 5. He's not going to be able to do that. So now, vital to have the right angle on the 5 to be able to drop below the 7. Boy, having a look to see if it's available bottom right. It certainly doesn't look like it is. The way he plays, well, it's pretty close, isn't it? Definitely doesn't go into the middle. This is close. they're still looking at it.
Well, I'm with you. Don't be surprised if he just nicks the 9 here.
Well, he's going to play this with right-hand spin, Phil, I think, too. And that's going to increase the degree of difficulty. Just a trace as he looks. This is dangerous. Into the right-hand side of that corner as he looked.
Well, it was close whether the 7 would go. One thing that isn't close, this match. In fact, it's totally one-sided. Naoki Oi and Toru Kurobayashi in complete control. They lead Qatar 5-0.
Japan to break. Leading 5 racks to nil.
So we had all the shocks in the early stages, but now it appears the cream, as always, rising to the top.
Yeah, once you increase the races too, Phil, upsets are a little fewer and far between. First 2 rounds were races to 7. Here in the quarters now, first team to 9. That was worth the go just because it offered position to the 3. Boy came down to have a look at it just to see what, if anything, has been left to Qatar.
Well, even if the gap's there and the 2 is on, the position from 2 to 3. Don't fancy this. Toru Kurobayashi is known as Superman. I think the real Superman would struggle with this one.
Extension call.
Well, I can't imagine that he was taking that on. The 3 was at the other end of the table. I mean, it came fairly close to that pocket, but there's just zero value in knocking that 2 in.
Yes, and what's more now, the 2 has come out from behind the 4, and it is possible.
Extension call.
Never rains, but it pours. Nice roll for Japan there. He attempted the 2 and missed it badly, and this is what welcomes Walid Majid to the table.
No pretense at saying sorry, though. It was a high 5. All donations gratefully accepted.
You'll have one.
Yeah, he's going to try and jump over this.
Top stroke.
The operative word was try.
Ball in hand.
Again, it's looking bleak for the men from Doha.
Forced to rush as they didn't have the extension in hand. Asher Hussein had used it previously.
The 3 very close to the 9, but there's enough of it to pot it. No sweat there.
Just marginally short of where he would have liked to have been. To this stage, it's been a clinical performance from Japan. Obviously, they'll be taking nothing for granted. They don't want to leave the very accomplished opponents from Qatar any air at all.
Naoki from Osaka. Toru Kurabayashi from Tokyo. Two cities, one nation, one goal, and well on the way to achieving it.
Some kind of performance from Japan. Yet to drop a rack. They're delighted. 6-0 over Qatar.
Welcome back to London, where it's the quarter-final stage of this year's World Cup of Pool. A dominant performance from Japan has seen them race into a 6-0 lead against Qatar.
Foul.
A foul on the 7th ball by Japan wasn't punished by Qatar, who missed 6, allowing Japan to clean up and move within 2 of victory. We rejoin play for the start of Rack 8. Commentary from Phil Yates and Jim White.
Once again, opportunity not for Japan. And if he slow rolls this in, it'll be a bank on the 3.
And if 2 is spotted conventionally, then the 3 is banked. And you look around the table, another rack beckons for the team who are dominating.
Well, it wasn't easy, but Japan had certainly rather have had that shot than given it to Qatar.
Surprising miss that from the Japanese, the way he missed it. Had he played it towards the cushion, in off the near jaw, that would have been easier to slide in. Plus, the cue ball would have been more in the middle of the table, leaving better position on the 3.
First real opportunity for both of them to get a little table time in here. Yeah, it's 7-0. They've got to try and ignore that score and just play themselves back into contention. That's a good shot, given the circumstances.
There's the whitewash going to be averted.
Well, that thumped in with authority, looking to make a statement. It took 8 racks before Qatar finally notches their first. 7-1. Japan still in control.
And I think that break just typifies the way things have been going for them. Just when they needed something positive, the balls refuse.
Well, if you want to take the aggressive path, there is a bank to the corner pocket available. He could pull the cue ball down towards the 2, or he could even try and duck behind the 8. Just depends how he sees this. I like that, Phil. You know, they're willing to battle it out. 7-1 they trail. A lot of teams might have just fired at the bank. This shows a lot of heart for me.
Yes, and I think sometimes decision-making process, it has to be based on the percentages rather than the scoreline.
Mark Gray on the left, Daryl Peach on the right, England B.
Keeping the Japanese locked down. Second consecutive snooker. This one might be even more troublesome than the first.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
Two Japanese players laughing. I don't know whether anyone else sees the humor in that shot.
Well, another nice open table for Qatar. Oh, that's inexcusable. And no wonder Bashir Hussain apologised, and so he should. When you play a shot like this, and he butchered that, you don't deserve any luck.
Yeah, possible jump shot here though, Phil. over the 7. It's a long, straight 2.
And so a second chance. I suppose you can't begrudge them a little bit of fortune, especially being 7-1 behind, but Hussain's attempt on the 2-ball there was poor.
I think he's just traveled a bit too far with that cue ball. Waleed's going to have to play this off the cushion. Should still get this. Oh. Well, they're really getting the rolls now. Another bad shot. They look like getting away with.
1 in Iraq is bad enough. 2, well.
Now Japan's turn to get lucky.
Ball stroke.
And I think that's going to
Ball in hand.
prove to be 8-1. Just trying to flick the edge of this and just missed it.
Giving all the impressions, Jim, Bashir is saying, of being disgruntled. And I think he's become a little unglued in this rack. 3 mistakes. 1 missing a snooker, 1 missing a pot, 1 playing a poor positional shot.
Right around the angles. 4 cushions and back for the 9 bottom right. Japan arrives to the hill in complete control.
Welcome back to the 2015 Dafabet World Cup of Pool, where Japan need 1 rack for victory and a place in the last 4. Poor 1-6 combo by Japan was punished by Qatar, who ran out the colours, taking only their 2nd rack of the game. We rejoin the match at the start of rack 11.
Powerful break. Nothing finding gravity.
Well, just Qatar's second dry break in the tournament, Jim.
Nice little shot there for Roy. Look at Waleed in behind him. He's kind of frowning. I'm not sure there's room there. Not a lot of options either.
Extension call.
Can they get over the line here?
Eight, 9 at the bottom of the table might present a problem for Japan. Unless that 8 goes, and I'm not sure it does. Certainly doesn't look like it.
Yes, that's the conundrum they're trying to solve now, Jim.
Well, depending on where they land on the 5, Phil, they may be able to develop it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't go. And it's going to be getting moved anyway. So it's of no consequence. Pretty close, but either way, I don't think he can play this 5 without moving these.
8-2 ahead. They might have been slapdash in the previous rack, but here, playing hardball.
Yeah, and he's developed the 8-2. So doubly good, that shot.
Off stroke.
And almost certain to pay dividends, this one.
Ball in.
Should take him through to the semifinals.
Waleed, Majid and Basher is saying will be disappointed, of course, that's only natural. But when they've got time to reflect, they should also be full of pride because they've achieved a national milestone in the World Cup of Pool by being in the quarterfinals for the first time. There, though, the journey looks like coming to an end.
Yes, 32 teams started out, so there's 24 of them that would happily trade places. Well, don't go home just yet.
Well, here there's a question mark about the pot and position.
Well, it's going to be a bank. And this will go in at speed. He'll have to straighten it out. Top corner. Well, he tried to cut it all the way down. I thought he'd try and slap that into the opposite side, Phil, but wow, I'll tell you, Japan is letting Qatar off the hook here. Good shot. And we are treated to at least one more rack between these two. 8-3 still. Japan in total control. Can't get through to the one.
And you know, Jim, far better than I, that if you make mistakes and don't get over the line, quite often the balls, okay, they're inanimate objects, but they turn against you.
Push out, cut.
Well, you tend to remember all those opportunities you had, and now each one, assuming more do present themselves, Phil, come with significantly more pressure. I mean, make no mistake about it, they're still well and truly in the comfort zone. They've got a big cushion. But they really are being very lax at closing this one out.
Well, at 8-1, Japan missed a much more simple 1-6 combination than that. After missing it, Qatar could have left a much easier pot, a much easier shot.
Extension call.
Couple options here. Certainly, if he does want to defend, he can try and draw that in behind the 3. It looks like the 1 almost goes into the top left corner. I mean, there may be some value in going at this. Should be able to get position to the 2, draw back and hit the 3. He's drawn right around the 3.
And after this, the 3-6 is on. Having to be delicate, though.
He's got to get his cue out of the way. It's going to be coming right back. Well, the billiard from the 3 to the 6. More about controlling where the 3 goes than anything else. There was a reason he refused it. But once again, you know, they just keep bringing Qatar out of their chairs.
Yes, on a handful of occasions now, Qatar must have thought they'd played their last shot.
Just about made this in the side. You just get that feeling, Phil.
Well, Clive Everton, the well-known snooker commentator, coined the phrase clincher's disease when a player or a team couldn't get over the line. Japan exhibiting symptoms of clincher's disease. And it's a condition that can be debilitating.
You know, I think more about what's yet to come as well. You know, this isn't exactly the way they'd want to end the match. They've completely dominated because there's more to play, assuming they still do get over the finish line in this.
Put the disclaimer in there, assuming. Your buddy Cliff Thorburn,
Extension
Jim,
call.
was one of the great competitors in Q Sports. He was the victim of the biggest comeback at the Crucible, 9-2 up, lost 10-9 to Nigel Bond. If Thorburn can lose from that kind of position, anything's possible.
Dodgy 9 here for Hussein. It was tricky. It was tricky. So's this. And again, he's coming to the table smiling, and you know, there's still work to be done. You know what I mean?
The match that refuses to die has more life.
8-4. 3 in a row. Japan has lost. Nice break. And if the 2 is available, I mean, Bashar is looking at the 2-9, but he can draw this just below the left-hand side. If the 2's available bottom right, pretty clear path. Now, that's where he wants to bring the cue ball, right there. He may have left enough of this 3 exposed for Japan to knock it in. A little more serious now, I sense, Phil.
So do I. From distance, that's the third time playing with power that Walid Majid has failed.
Good shot from Oy. Kurabayashi, all he has to do is concentrate on this one. The 7 dangling over the corner. Surely they're going to be able to seal the deal now.
We thought that 3 racks ago. I'm with you though, Jim. Surely the end really is 9 now. I think this is what you call, Jim, making a meal of it, but they're over the line, I think.
Well, finally, victory arrives. Team Japan, a 9-4 win over Team Qatar, and they book a place in the semifinals. It took a while to come. The smiles are back. Japan can relax, sit back, and enjoy the victory.